Hi, this is Adam, aka Casey Jones from Casey Jones Livewire, and you're listening to Epic Tales from the Sewers. Time for a knuckle sandwich, punk.
Welcome to the Epic Tales from the Sewers podcast. Strap into the party wagon and hold on to your pizza. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Epic Tales from the Sewers. I'm your host, Justin. I'm joined by my most excellent host, my most excellent co-host, Mr. Eric Will. How you doing?
Doing all right, Justin. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Our guest today is a very special guest.
Your beard.
Yeah, he's playing with his beard. You may have seen him on the TV series Ink Master, where he represented himself as the nerd shop for tattoos, which is right up our alley, Eric. The owner of a skate clothing company called Firmware and the custom shoe brand Bullairs, some of which we'll be talking about today. A very talented artist and a purveyor of nerd culture, Mr. Thom Bulman.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Thanks
Glad
for
to be
joining
here.
us.
Mm-hmm.
So
Glad to have you.
what the big elephant in the room is that recently I saw your shoes on Kevin Eastman's feet. So
Yeah,
Kevin
right.
Eastman has a pair of your shoes, the Bullairs.
He's got two pairs.
Two pairs.
Yeah,
Okay.
so he's got a pair of Last Ronins that I made for another customer. When Kevin saw them, Kevin was interested in them. So I asked my customer, hey, can I give him a pair? And he's like, yeah, that's Kevin Eastman, sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't
Who
say
would
no to
say
that.
no?
Yeah, so I went to
No.
Granite State Comic-Con and I gave it to him there. And then that's also where I gave his wife, Courtney, the other shoes and some other stuff. And then I'm guessing by the photo that just was released a few days ago that Courtney had just given him the party wagon shoes, which was really cool.
Yeah, that's great. It's hard to kind of explain your design of these things, but when did you first start doing these, the custom sneakers?
Rewind a little bit. I'm a tattoo artist of 17 years. Just now retired. But if you go back a year and a half ago, before that, I've always painted shoes, and usually it was like kind of how you see like a lot of people, they have a pair of Vans slip-ons and they'll paint like a design on because it's a white shoe.
Mhm.
I did little stuff like that, or I'd have a pair of white leather shoes that I would paint up to look like a Captain Planet shoes, or
Cool.
a certain Ninja Turtle or something like that. And when COVID hit, where are you guys based out of? Like, what states are you guys in?
I'm in
Ohio.
Illinois, and he's in Ohio.
Ohio.
Yeah.
Illinois. So like in New York, when COVID, the shutdown happened, it was the first time in 15 years that I wasn't able to tattoo. Like I had never even taken a week off from tattooing in 15 years. So they forced us not to tattoo for, I think, over 4 months. And at that point, I kind of I was trying to sell some stuff through my web store, like artwork, like every other tattoo artist in the world. And, it just wasn't making ends meet. You go from, doing very large, very expensive tattoos to, maybe selling 10 prints a day and a couple t-shirts. So kind of needed to pivot a little bit. And I had a friend, he goes by the name of Shoe Surgeon. His real name's Dom. He's from the same area that I am. We have a lot of the same friends. And he had said, hey, why don't you try, I know you're not doing anything right now. Like, why don't you, he does Shoe Surgeon, courses. Like he teaches you how to make shoes, not just like painting shoes, but actually they call it recon. So reconstructing the shoes, like taking them apart, using patterns, using sewing machines, and how to build the shoes. And I said, hell, what the hell? I got nothing else to lose. So I basically, took this month course, learned how to do it, and just ran with it. And the first shoes I made were the Wolverine shoes. And there was such a huge reaction from that. I was like, maybe I have something with this. Because before this, like you said, I ride one wheel, and I had a one wheel company, and it was called Firmware. And it was okay successful, but and then before that I had another company because I was in bands for years, and that was called Arm vs. Hand. And that was, have you ever heard of Drop Dead Clothing? Like Bring Me the Horizon used to.
Oh yeah, yep.
It was very similar to Drop Dead Clothing because I was a musician in bands and stuff like that. But I was actually just thinking about this the other day with a friend, and we were saying I think those businesses weren't as successful as what I'm doing now, because I was literally doing something that a million people do. You know, like there's a million people out there that are making T-shirts of their designs and then selling to the public.
Yeah.
The thing that caught my attention with the whole sneaker thing is it was almost out of necessity. Like I, saw this void. To me, it seemed like Nike has just been like, I'm a Nike guy. But Nike has been very lazy in their concept designs and their themed licensing. They tell you, oh, this is the Marty McFly. It looks nothing like a Back to the Future shoe. This is the Homer Simpson shoe. It looks nothing like it. It's the laziest fan service shoes I've ever seen in my life. And I was like,
they make assassins?
Yeah, just all of them, just really lazy, really uncreative. And I was like, so I made the Wolverines in this class because I was like, if I could design a pair of shoes, this is what I would want them to look like. So as soon as I, filled that void, I was like, wow, I might have something here. Like, this is like, you always bitch about like, oh, somebody needs to do that. Well, at a certain point, you just got to go, I guess I'm that somebody and I'm just going to do it, and after that, I think the next shoe I did was like the Ninja, the actual first version of the Turtle Van, which was the Turtle Power back then, and that was more aligned with the movie Turtle, colors, colorway as they call it, and that just blew off, and like everybody was going crazy for that, and I was like, wow, I might have a way to, if tattooing doesn't come back, I could do this and maybe pivot to doing this. And for a little while I was kind of doing both. I was doing tattooing and I was doing that, and eventually, like, I'm sure you guys all know with tattooers, after a couple decades, your back gets really bad, and my back is now at the point where it's shot. So like, I used to be able to sit there and tattoo somebody for 10 hours, torturing them. And now I could only tattoo for about 2 hours, and then I'd either have to stop or take an hour or so break. And it was just getting to the point where it was just taking too long to get tattoos done. So I was like, wow, I think, a year and a half ago, I was like, this is the perfect pivot point to go into another career where I already have because I was blessed to be on Ink Master and Grudge Match, to have this built-in clientele, this built-in audience that already likes kind of the nerdy stuff that I do. I'm totally blessed because like they all came with me over to this new facet of of a career, and I just, it's been overwhelming and amazing at the same time. So yeah, so that was the long answer to your question. I've only been doing the shoemaking process for about a year and a half. So if it shows you how motivated and I guess professional I am, that I've done all this in a year and a half.
I first became aware of your shoes when I saw the Ninja Turtles version of like the Universal Monster ones.
Oh yeah,
like they had like interchangeable pieces and such.
Yeah, I always like that
so
stuff.
Cool.
It's fun.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you could go between like the Vampire Donnie or the the Werewolf Leo, and I'm like, these are some awesome looking sneakers.
Yeah, super fun. I love Universal Monsters, and I love their mashup in the 90s. So I thought it'd be a really cool Halloween drop this year,
Oh yeah, absolutely. What so what's the plans for the new shoes? Because I know you had talked about some pre-order that you have going on. What's the deal?
Yeah, so I mean, I got so this is the sample pair. So this is a
love the Krang hat, by the way.
Oh, yeah, that's another one of mine. This is a sample pair. So when you look at this one, the only thing that's different on this is like the sole is actually the same color as this brown, and then the lace, the lining. Oh, it's so amazing. But the thing I loved about it's always confusing.
I like that stitch work on there too.
Yeah, it's super cool. It's got like this like heavy stitching. So this whole thing in the front is kind of to resemble it's a little nod at the movie Turtles, their pads.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Dude, that is awesome.
Then it's got, I really love, it's got this.
That is freaking, oh my gosh.
So people listening who can't see this, we've got stripes and it's not stripes, but like on the back, two different color materials for the turtles, blue and orange on one side, and red and purple on the other.
Yeah, and these are the actual Pantones that Playmates used back in the day. And the cool thing, so this is really cool. You can kind of see it, but the stitching that goes right here. Let me see if I can pull it down. It is the stitching of their chest. So it looks like
that's cool. Right on the tongue.
Chest.
Man, you were really into detail with this, man.
If you want to carry all your weapons, you can. Here. Your weapons.
Okay.
Your secret ooze.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and
Those
on
are
the side of
sick.
each of them is the weapons that looks
and
like.
you won't see this in the advertisement because I really don't want to get sued. But like on the inside, it's got that.
Oh yeah, a little secret
Yeah.
underneath. Wow, those are extravagant. It's a good
Those
looking
are
shoe.
freaking awesome, though.
Yeah,
Thank you.
wow.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, I've been lucky because it's like I make the stuff that I want to wear personally. Like these are always like my dream shoes. And it seems like I guess I've been getting lucky because everybody's like, yeah, those are perfect. And I'm like, awesome. I guess I'm hitting the right chord if people are digging them, you know?
Yeah, this is the right fandom for that type of stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
I showed you my statue. Like clearly,
Yeah.
we spend money on this stuff. You know.
yeah.
Exactly. So, like I said, with these, so there's two different options. So the first option is you get this, this pair, and like I said, it's each panel has the four turtles, so like one on this side, one on the other side, and the same thing on the other. And then you're also going to get a collector's box that comes with it, and the collector's box, just like the shoes, is based off the Playmates card back art. So it's got a bunch of that art. You open it up and it looks like the card back, so it looks like basically the shoebox is the card art from the Playmates toy line. So you're gonna get that, and then if you do the bundle, the second option, you're gonna get a bunch of stuff, which is really cool. So the first thing you'll get with the bundle is, let me see if I can,
the communicator pin.
Oh my gosh.
the
Very
communicator lapel pin by my buddy Tom. He's linked to my thing. So that thing is
beautiful. It's an enamel
nice.
pin.
Big too.
Yeah.
So you get that, and then you're gonna get, in this one the foot fell off, but you're gonna get, let's see, these little mini figures. So they're actually gonna come in a black bag, and it's a little bit smaller. And then my buddy Retro Saint, who's in England, he's doing 100 figures. And if we sell more than 100 shoes, he'll do 100 more figures. But you'll get a mystery bag, and it will come with. And it's not just the four turtles. I mean, he's doing the entire line. He's doing Scratch.
What?
He's doing Half Court. He's
Oh
doing
my God.
Rat King. He's doing them all. So you get that. And then I've been lucky, very lucky, that I got to make shoes for Steve Levine. And
Yeah, I've seen those.
he did one of his prints, but he did
Nice.
it. This is the first time ever that you'll get it in the Playmates color.
Yeah, I've never seen him use those colors. Yeah.
Yeah, he says he's never used them before, so that's really cool. And then obviously you get his signature, where is it? You get a signature on there, and these aren't going to be sold through him. Like you can only get these with the shoes.
Wow,
that's great.
So that's really cool. And then my favorite is the jacket. So,
I do like the jacket.
yes.
Oh wow.
And then it's got the ooze crew.
Nice.
Of course, you got to have the 84. It's got,
Bullairs.
you got.
Damn, dude.
I love that. Just the that right there. The coolest part is.
Yeah, the Dooney art.
Oh, I just got cold chills, bro.
I don't know if I can.
I just got cold
Does
chills.
that completely reverse?
Yeah, so you can reverse
Oh
it.
my
It's got,
God.
black sleeves on the inside.
That is so cool.
And then it's got the Bullairs logo on the backside too. So
that's high fashion to us. I mean, it's like, damn.
That's what I'm saying. So it goes from like, a really cool hip, varsity jacket, or you could turn it inside out and it's like a chalk line, one of those chalk line jackets. So it's really cool.
Eric's swooning right now.
And then the last thing that comes with it is my buddy Needles, who runs the Party Wagon Facebook group. He does toy photography, and he's including a print of the turtles that he did in one of his lairs. He put these shoes on them, so he's including that with it too. So yeah, and there's actually a couple more little things like stickers and some other stuff that I'm going to throw in the pack too. So you're getting your bang for your buck. So like if you just get the shoes. You just get the shoes by themselves with the box, it's $349. If you do the whole shebang, the whole bundle, it's $499.
Yeah, the price for the bundle really shocked me because I would have thought that the jacket alone would have been like an extra $100. It's kind of blowing my mind. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not making a lot of money on the bundle, but I wanted something that was, kind of like a little bit of an upsell, but something that are like, oh, that's totally worth it. Yeah, all that. Yeah, I could do that. You know what I mean?
That's crazy, man. Like, I don't know, man. I'm like, my jaw's like hitting the floor right now with your stuff. Like, you are just like those shoes that you just showed, man. Those are
Thank you.
freaking. They're freaking awesome, man. Like really, really, really are.
Yeah,
You know,
I put a lot of passion into it. Like I said,
I could tell.
I wear I wear the shoes. You know what I mean? It's just like, especially like I do a lot of one-off customs, like where I did like, you know, Voltron. You know what I mean?
Oh, very neat.
You know where you know I love this cartoon as a kid. So when I did it, I put all these little details in there. Like I think one, with the money you're spending, you got to have someone that has passion and has the dedication, that wants, I'm making nerdy shoes for nerdy people. And I know that they're going to, every little Easter egg, they're going to notice and they're going to appreciate. And I think the property deserves that. I get so pissed off when I'm on a lot of shoe pages, and I'm on a lot of Ninja Turtle pages and other collector pages too. But I see like these You still there? Sorry.
Yeah, still there.
Somebody, I don't have my phone on silent, so somebody called me. I see a lot of these, Facebook groups, where there's just like these horrible brands that are just, a lot of them are Chinese brands, where they're just slapping a turtle, logo on the side of their horrible shoe, and then they're just trying to pass it off for $200. And I'm like, that's and I see people buy them and post like, check out these shoes. And I try to stay positive, like, yeah, they look great. In my head, I'm like, man, that's garbage. Like, you deserve better than that,
Yeah, I've Randy. Randy MacArthur. Obviously, you do, because he bought a pair of shoes off of you.
Yeah.
Randy, and as well as I know Eric Smith. He got the Crane shoes.
Yeah, Eric's amazing, great dude.
Yeah, freaking! I've seen those. I've seen your shoes like I want to say about a year ago when I started following you, and like I'm just like, man, I would love to have a pair of shoes, but if I spent $300 to $400 on a pair of shoes, my wife's going to kick my ass.
Try buying a statue. So.
well, I have to say we did spend over $1,000 on a comic. So
well, I mean that's a comic, so yeah.
But it is a piece of history too. So
is it a comic about shoes? No.
No, I think the most I've ever spent on a pair of shoes whenever I was in Japan was probably about $300 or $400.
Oh, nice. What were they?
Oh, I can't. They were like some special Air Force ones that you can only get over there too.
Oh, that's awesome.
And this was like in like 2000. And I used to have all kinds of shoes from whenever I lived over in Japan. Plus, I was like in Dubai and Hong Kong and all the other places.
Yeah, I mean, all of that market, their shoe taste is so exquisite, and so like they're on point. So like they put us Americans to shame because they buy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's like whenever I was in Japan, like you could go to like one of their malls, they're like legit, like obviously there's gonna be some fake shoe places and all that stuff, and you could tell which ones are real and which ones are fake. And I used to go into like the real deal stores, and and you're just like, oh my god, why do not we have this in America?
Yeah.
Like, because I lived there for about a year and a half, and I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna be broke over here. Like, I'm not gonna be able to go out and enjoy my liberty when we go to like Hong Kong or stuff like that, dude. But like, yeah, but if I end up spending like $400 like on a pair of shoes, my wife probably kicked my ass. I mean, we spent $100. Yeah. And the whole thing. Well, I bought some Scottie Pippins, the Scottie Pippen 6s, all red.
Yeah.
And my wife, she's cheap. They were originally like $120, but we only paid like $12 for them because she had coupons and all this other stuff for them. So nice. That's how my wife is.
Nice. My wife's the same way. I love it. She saves me money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's awesome. And I mean, hey, we're in the land of Chicago over here, so Scottie Pippen shoes would not last.
Hey, Pippen was my man. I like Jordan. I like some Jordan shoes. I say probably my favorite one was the 16s.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm like, I would say, I'm pretty classic. The ones are just hands down, like it's such a classic look, and obviously building hundreds of shoes now at this point and hundreds different, hundreds of designs. Like it's so versatile and it has so many options.
Yeah.
you can, create something really cool and different every single time,
What about the Air Force Twos? Did you ever pick up a pair of those?
Air Force Twos, no.
Yeah.
I do like the Air Force Ones.
Yeah.
I think as far as running shoes, I like Air Max
Maxes,
ones. Yeah, I like
see
those a
you
lot.
do like a lot of Air Max ones and well, obviously you're showing Air Force One lows for that one set of turtles, which those are freaking awesome.
That was going to be my question too, of what those were based on. So that's based on the Air Force lows.
Yeah.
Which one? These shoes?
Yeah, those.
These are SB Dunks.
Oh, SB Dunks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So these are based off of. I have patterns from actually. Like I have a source that sells me his official Nike patterns that they use like in their actual offices. So I am able to get them built around, the actual official pattern. So it's pretty cool. And I'm an old school skateboarder, so I was very huge into SB Dunks for a long time. So I like that this shoe is the SB Dunk.
Yeah, I for some reason I wasn't a big fan of the Dunks. Air Force Ones I was a little bit. Of course, you gotta have white ones and you gotta have the all black ones too. So, but yeah, those. I'm sorry, but those I really like those. Out of all the ones that like you've done some amazing work, but I say those right there are probably by far my favorite ones right now, just because I got to see them, but also like the turtle shells.
The cool thing is everybody just says how simple they are.
Yes.
Like they're very polished, like they could literally be made in a Nike factory. So everybody's like it looks show ready, and I like that.
Absolutely. I mean, I like the like how you showed the details with like the front of their shell right here.
It's got like
and the insoles too. Yeah, he does the insoles too. I love it.
Oh, that's so cool.
I love it.
Damn.
See, I couldn't wear the shoes. That's the sad part. I couldn't be able to wear the shoes. I put it up in my museum. That's a hot mess right now.
Well, that's what everybody says. I tell everybody the same thing. Like, listen, bust it out for that Comic-Con you're going to.
Yep.
And then go back home, clean them off, put them in an acrylic case, and stick them next to your toys.
Yeah, I have a bunch of toys.
Yeah. they look great next to your figures.
Yeah. I got figures. I got games. I got like, what was it like? I think I got like 30 games of the Turtles.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. Uh-huh. Yeah, I just recently got the what's the Game Boy one? The Foot Clan one. I got that. I forget what it's called, but I got that at Retro Game Con.
The Revenge of the Foot Clan or something?
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
I got 2 out of the 3 because the what was that? What was that last one?
Radical Rescue.
Yes, that's the.
I am digging the hell out of that game. I'm playing it in the Cowabunga collection. That one's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to get that collection. It looks so good. The music is great.
Oh yeah,
it is.
We were just talking about this. Mike Patton from Faith No More and Phantomus.
Oh yeah.
And he did the song on Shredder's Revenge.
So good.
So, I actually reached out to him 2 days ago to see if he'd be on the show, but he's not doing interviews at the moment.
Oh, that sucks. He's a crazy guy. I love it.
I saw a clip of him doing a full front flip into a crowd of people, and I said, "That's a guy I would follow."
That's the guy. Yeah, that's awesome.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So you mentioned that you've done some of these custom shoes, right? So you've done Last Ronin as one. Any plans for something in the future like Pirates of Darkwater or Bucky O'Hare? Anything like that?
Bucky O'Hare is definitely on the docket coming up. Probably the end of 2023 coming up. So end of next year is a Bucky O'Hare. I did just finish. I guess this is an exclusive. I'm doing an Earthworm Jim.
Ooh!
Oh my gosh!
Cool.
Air Jordan 1 lows, an Earthworm Jim one. So that's coming out. So that's going to be pretty cool.
That's got to be pretty sick.
Another drop I'm going to have is a Biker Mice from Mars. I'm doing a drop for that.
Yeah, and they crossed over with the Turtles in the comics. So
yeah, it's gonna be dope. So those are 2 of the ones that have coming. I definitely have some little nichey ones, like when I did the Captain Planet ones, and then I have like your more mainstream one like Star Wars and Marvel and things like that too. So
Star Wars is a great thing to have on your sneakers. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can do so much with it too.
You can make it dirty and it just looks lived in,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's great. I love them. I mean, these things look amazing. I think that anybody that wants to kind of get into that niche and all that, is that something where you're doing like customs for it now? Like, can folks reach out to you and have you build a pair?
Yeah, so like I open it twice a year. Usually it's January 1st and then August 1st or the end of August is when I open it up. And usually it's just, I'd say like 30 commissions is what I take on for that, 6-month time period. And then I kind of close it up, and I every day I get messages from people saying, "Oh, I want a Jurassic Park shoe. I want this shoe." And I'm like, "Oh my God, I want to do that." I literally say like, "I want to do that shoe. Just hit me back as soon as you see my commissions are open."
Oh, wow.
We'll get you in. Because and I also like to tell them like it's a collaborative process. I just like tattooing. I do my mock-up, I send it to them. They go, "Oh, I like this. Let's change this." And then in the end, it's a better piece because it also suits you because you're the one paying for it. But it also, I feel like, there's stuff that you are seeing that I'm not seeing, and stuff that, that I wouldn't normally think of. And maybe you did think of that. So it's a really collaborative process. And I'm really a lot happy with how the shoes look in the end when we have that communication between each other. And then obviously they're even more stoked because they got a hand in designing and stuff like that too.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. What's kind of one of the more obscure commissions that you've done, if you could talk about it? Like someone hits you up and they're like, "Hey, I really want strawberry shortcake," or something like
strawberry shortcake would be dope. I definitely would want them to smell.
Could you imagine? Yeah.
Trying to think. I mean, I think just a deep cut is that the Captain Planet shoes, just because like kids these days, they have no idea who that is.
Oh my gosh, no.
Captain Planet, and they had a great NES game too.
It was a great cartoon. Great cartoon. So I think that's like I don't know. I think that's the deepest cut that I can think of, And then I've done a bunch of weird anime ones like Hunter x Hunter and Tokyo Ghoul and stuff like that.
Tokyo Ghoul, wow.
Yeah.
Hunter x Hunter is a good show. I just Tokyo Ghoul is a family favorite.
I think my favorite anime shoe I've done is the Akira ones. I'm a huge Akira fan.
Really?
So, yeah, doing those shoes was awesome.
Just had artist Mateus Santaluca on, and we were just talking about Akira and how much he loves it and how much it actually influenced him and all that. So
it influenced me too. It's such a great movie and a great story, and the soundtrack, and just I remember watching it in the 80s on HBO, and just being in love with it. So it's just a great movie,
And it ties to the Turtles because Cam Clark did the voice of Kaneda and he did the voice of Leonardo.
Yeah, it all ties together, which is really, really cool.
That's awesome. So with this, what kind of direction do you think that you can go in for sneakers? Do you think it's something that would be like you'd eventually have a storefront or just do everything based on the internet?
Yeah, like right now I'm in my office, but like if you walk out the door over there's a brick and mortar storefront right here. I actually have a storefront, and you can see all my samples behind the glass. And then I have all my T-shirts and hoodies because I also do that stuff too. My goal would be, to get to the point where, maybe you have a store in Los Angeles, store in New York City, store in Chicago, some of these big markets, these A markets. And, when I drop these shoes, they also show up at those stores, and then people just show up and buy them there. That would be the dream. I don't know if it'll happen, but that would be the dream. And then on top of creating, what the shoes are going to be dropping, my hand is, I love the one-to-one shoes. I love being able to create just that one piece that I get to spend all my time on, put all the details, put all my energy, and then give it to the customer.
That's got to be so satisfying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can only imagine. Have they shown up at all on a secondary market that you've seen?
No, I don't think so because I've known a couple people that in the Facebook groups that basically reached out to me and said, "Hey, I want to sell these ones because I want to buy your other ones."
Oh, okay.
That's kind of funny, but everybody else, like from what I know, they've all just kept it because they were so happy with it. I mean, I personally don't want to see them pop up on StockX and Flight Club and all that other stuff because, I don't like the resale market. You know what I mean? I don't like, these
It's
people.
brutal.
Yeah, and just
Yeah.
and that's why, like, with my drops, like, it's not when they sell out. It's I keep it open for an entire week, and however many sells is how many I make. So like,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, I don't. It's not like November 21st when the shoes drop, you're not going to get 30 minutes later to say they're sold out. It's not fucking happening. Like, you get a whole week to get your money together and buy that shoe. So it's Monday night at 11:59. You can still go and get that pair of shoes. Like, because
Wow.
that was my biggest complaint with the Nike sneakers app was I have never once won a pair of shoes on the Nike sneakers app. And I've been doing it for years, and I have never once gotten one of these day of drops. And I got fed up with it. So I was like, I will never do that,
And the cool thing about pre-order too is that you don't have to worry about them running out of your size, because you're like, hey, I need a 12.
Yeah, exactly. The only thing that does suck is, if you order the wrong size, there's a good chance I might not have a replacement size if you want to go size up. You know what I mean? So sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So
how do the sizes run? Just standard kind of Nike size?
yeah, they're made to the actual Nike pattern. So if you wear a 9.5 and an Air Jordan 1, then this is going to be a 9.5 and Air Jordan 1. So
just go to the store, try on your Jordans, and then you'll know.
That's crazy.
That's great. That's a good tip too. I didn't know if anyone knew, because it's one of those things where you do have a different shoe size when it comes to different make and model of shoes. So
yeah, and then with the Air Jordan 1s, I mean, these are SB Dunks, so they're a little bit wider, but with like Air Jordan 1s and Air Max 1s, they're more of a thinner shoe. Yeah, so I like the SB Dunks because they're just a little bit wider, so they're a little bit more comfortable on you. Where the Air Jordan 1s were made in 1985, they're not as comfortable as the later silhouettes.
Well, Michael Jordan didn't have much of a, he was just a tiny little thing, and he didn't have a fat foot.
Yeah.
Eric, I got a question for you. If you had any particular design of shoe that you wanted to make custom, that you were going to do that, what would be your property or anything?
Well, I mean, obviously.
Are you talking to me?
Well, I was going to ask Eric. So, what would be his dream shoe? Because he's a shoe guy.
My shoe, if like, now I'm gonna go with him if he was designing the shoe.
Yeah, that's what we're going.
I'm okay. So I'm gonna throw out a couple. To be honest with you. So Kirby, the original Fifth Turtle, or AKA now Slash sneaker, or a Metalhead.
Metalhead would be dope.
Wow,
Metalhead would be real dope. I've done a Slash. Did you see the Slash I did for a customer?
I think I've seen the Slash, but I would be honest with you. I would like to see a Kirby one, the Fifth Turtle.
That's an obscure one, so that's still pretty cool.
So that'll be cool to see, because there's not a whole lot of people that know who Kirby is, and so obviously he's Slash now, but the people that do know a little bit of the history, they know about Kirby.
They know, yeah.
So
Metalhead be dope too. He's one of my favorite
yes.
toys, and just the chrome and the shine too. Would be real. And I like to do battle damage, so I'd probably put some dirt on the gear, make it look really cool.
My thought would be either some sort of Casey Jones version, right, or the Turtle Blimp would be a way to go to.
Turtle Blimp is fun.
That'd be dope.
All the textures and all that, and like you have the tip of the shoe, and it looks like the tip of the blimp. So that might be pretty neat.
And then you got to put some bombs on the side, stuff.
Of course, foot stinks and all that. So
yeah, that would be dope. I'd be all about that. The thing is just so much content, so many things that came out of that whole time period, and they all look good. So they're all easily transferable in shoe form.
Yeah, and I mean it's so funny because you could like literally just go anywhere with it. You're like, I want to do Masters of the Universe. I want to do Thundercats. You do all this stuff. And
somebody literally just hit me up about Thundercats and Masters of the Universe today. So
and
there's just a million ways you can do it. Like it's like a tattoo where somebody always goes, oh, I want a Mega Man tattoo, and I can do Mega Man 500 different ways, and it will look different every time.
Well, let's talk about your history with tattoos and all that. You must have done your fair
Ooh.
share of Turtles tattoos, right?
I've done a ton. And then the last year of my tattooing, I really got to, in my prime, I got to do some really cool, like hyper realistic, ones. I did, Mikey with the pizza. I did Shredder from Secret of the Ooze. I've
Oh,
done.
we had him on the show. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, I've done my fair share. That's for sure. I've done the iconic, movie poster with all their heads are out of the sewer hole.
Oh,
I've
that's
done
a good one.
a realistic one of that. I was definitely right before I called it quits. I was doing a lot of hyper realism stuff, and it was super, super fun.
Well, it seems like the movie Turtles are pretty popular then for tattoos.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, well, the cartoon ones too. You know what I mean? But I really like bringing those to life on skin.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. We have very active lifestyles. It's not all wandering the countryside aimlessly or scaring passing motorists. And we all love a good cup of joe. And there's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. Bold, robust, delicious. It's coffee that can wake the dead. With over a dozen different roasts and flavors, Deadly Grounds can satisfy the most finicky of coffee addicts. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Yeah, you had me watching all day the Ink Master, so I was looking at the style that you had and all that, and I was like, man, that's really cool. Like some of the stuff that we're seeing.
It's
and
so
I
funny.
can see the cartoons going really well with your style.
Yeah, so I actually trademarked the word tattoons. So like for a long time in the community, if you said tattoons, a lot of people just heard that from me. You know what I mean? So it was like just cartoons and tattoos. Inkmaster was fun. I don't personally think it got to showcase like really my potential, but I just used it as a big commercial. There's 8 million viewers every week that were watching you. So, and that one, the selling point for that season was I got to go on. I just opened a new tattoo shop, so I got to go on and advertise my shop, every week for an hour.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Okay.
Is your shop still open?
No,
Like,
that one.
Do you have like apprentices or anything?
Yeah, so like that one, it was open for about 2 years, and then we had a situation with our landlord. The back room had a roof over it, and it ended up leaking really bad, and the landlord refused to fix the roof. Like he needed a whole new roof and said, I don't want to fix it, it's not my responsibility.
Oh boy.
So basically I was just like, I'm getting the hell out of here, and he let me get out of my lease. So at that point we moved it back here to Cortland, and I ended up the season after mine, there's a guy named Josh Payne, and he's the one that actually won Inkmaster the following season. Well, I ended up opening up a shop with him here in Cortland because we're both from this area. So we ended up just doing like a private studio where it was literally like my booth filled with toys and then his booth filled with like Japanese samurai armor.
Oh wow.
Two completely different people.
That's wow, what a weird sort of deviation there. That's
we were like the odd couple.
So a question about it, and I'm sure you've been asked this before. How much of that drama is real on the show? Because it seemed like in the beginning part of the season, it's like you weren't one of those people who was like saying all this stuff, and then it kind of rotated who was. And I'm like, how much of this is actually real?
It's all real. So what most people don't realize is you're locked in a house, like where we live, where we film. There's the studio is on the first floor where you do all the tattooing, all your booths, and then you go up to the third floor actually, and that floor is like the couch and all that area, and then on the other side of the wall is like this big giant open room that has all of our beds on the floor, just a mattress on the floor. They lock all the doors. There's no clocks. There's no TVs. They take away your cell phone. You're literally in prison.
They hit you like The Shining.
Yeah, if you want to talk to your family members, you have to go down to a secure room with a guard that basically watches over you while you FaceTime with your wife. So like, here's a little, the producer of the show was also one of the producers of Jerry Springer. So they know They know how to get you to actually fight with each other, you know. And also, there would be certain days where we're filming reality scenes, and they had to meet their quota of like how many fights or arguments they had.
Oh my gosh!
If you weren't giving what they wanted, they wouldn't end filming. They're like, you're not getting fed until you give us some more scenes. So then we'd literally just be like, hey, do you want to have an argument? Okay, let's have an argument. And then we would just fight. You know what I mean? So there was a lot of that, you know. Is it reality? No, not really. You know, sometimes we would literally, me and this Christian Buckingham, we would have like a great interaction with each other, or me and DJ. DJ's like one of my best friends, and he was on the show with me. We're from the same city when we grew up. And me and him were fighting nonstop, like on camera. And then afterwards, be like, that was such a good argument. He's like, yeah, man, you really burned me. And like it's just all fake. You know what I mean? But I love TV. I grew up with Road Rules and MTV. Real World.
I had to explain that to my kids because my kids, for some reason, love Ink Master. It's like their favorite show. And they're like,
so
oh, which one's he? What year?
You know?
You know, I'm like, all right.
I'm gonna try to plug my phone in real quick, because I don't want it to die.
Yeah, no worries.
I need to get my tattoo artist from Washington to finish up my leg piece of my turtles.
Oh, nice. Let's see if I can plug this in.
I need to get it done. Jesse Dixon, if you ever listen to this, get your ass over here.
You'll send it out to him and be like, hey.
Yeah.
He's got Master Chief in the background there too.
Yeah, I got my clowns, and then but yeah, no, like I said, I grew up with Road Rules and Real World and all that stuff, so I was soaking it up. And eventually, like down the line, even when I'm not making shoes, I want to do documentary filming. And so like I was just like in between scenes, I'd be like, hey, what kind of camera are you using? Oh, what's that? You know, what kind of dolly is that? So I was constantly like just asking people questions, and it was cool. Like, you know, I'm 42. How old are you guys?
41.
I'm about to turn 37 next month.
Yeah, I'm 42. So I grew up listening to Jane's Addiction.
Yep.
So to meet Dave Navarro was
that was
cool. And he is the nicest dude you've
cool.
ever met in your life. Like, the day I was kicked off the show, after you do your interviews, like I was there for a few more days doing exit interviews. And the day I was leaving, we walked through the offices, and they all have their own little rooms. And Dave was like always getting his nose powdered. I like to joke, but he's getting his face powdered, and he's like, Tom. I'm like, what's up? He's like, dude, it was great having you on the show. If I'm ever in Syracuse, we got to meet up and have lunch. And you know, sometimes people say stuff like that, and you're like, yeah, he doesn't mean it. Like, I literally was like, Dave means that. Like, Dave really, if he's ever in Syracuse, I think he would actually meet up with me. You know,
that's so cool.
Such a all the guys that were on my season, such amazing people. So really cool experiences, you know.
So you said you were a musician. Did you get to see Dave play at all, or
yeah, we got in the finale. We got to see Dave play the Star Spangled Banner outside in New York City. So that was really cool.
That's awesome.
And then like when we filmed the intro to the show, I don't know if you remember, but it looks like there's a bunch of like paint and splatter and all this paint and all this other stuff flying around. Do you remember the intro to the show?
Oh yeah, I've been watching it all day. So
yeah, so like that was like a whole day of filming, and that was really cool because it was like we were part of a music video, and I kept thinking, this is a Jane's Addiction music video. Or this is
coming down the mountain.
Yeah. So it was really cool. Just
did you get to see Jane's Addiction back in the day?
What's that?
Did you ever get to see Jane's Addiction?
No, I was gonna go to Lollapalooza one year, and I ended up not going because I would have loved to see them.
I missed that. They didn't play the Lollapalooza because I'm originally from Connecticut, so you know we had Hartford and all that. So by the time they came around, it was like I think it was like Korn and Tool and Snoop Dogg were the headlines, and there was no Jane's Addiction. Just
how long ago did you live in Hartford? I used to play in a band in Hartford, Connecticut.
Oh, no kidding. About 6 years ago. So
well, do you remember the band Shut Up and Deal?
Were you a hardcore band?
No, it was like a pop punk band. That's how I know Russ Lyman.
Oh, okay. No, no. If I had seen you, I probably would have seen you at like the Webster or something like that. So, gotcha. Did you guys play Webster area?
Yep. There was another small place we played there too. It was like a smaller, like little venue, and I can't remember the name of it for the life of me. But
there's a couple good places there. But
yeah, I love that whole Northeast area. It's a great place to play and do shows.
It was cool. I mean, we had like Toad's Place in New Haven and all the other stuff. So
Yep.
I seen tons of shows back then. It was great. That's cool. Well, so what do you play?
Usually it was bass guitar. In a few bands I played keyboards, and then in the very early years it was guitar, but I played guitar horrible.
I'm with you. I play bass now because I'm done with it. I'm like, look, I don't want to impress anybody, and I'm not good enough at this point in my life. So
yeah. I'm a pretty awesome bass player, but I'm a horrible guitar player. Just take away 2 strings and I'm phenomenal.
Oh, that's great. And the other great bassist that we had on was we actually had the original Raphael on.
Oh,
too.
really?
So yeah, Ken Scott, who is now a bassist as well. So
That's
he
awesome.
did most of the inside the costume stuff for Turtles 1 and all of it for Turtles 2.
That's so cool. Yeah.
He's also the guy that did the fellow Chucker. He was the guy doing the nunchucks. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't even know that. That's dope.
Yeah, that's see all the nuggets you get on this show.
know.
It's fun, So with tattooing, Eric, you mentioned that you have turtles tattoos on your leg. I don't think we've ever disused that on the show.
Yeah. What do you got? Joe and
all right.
Tell.
Yeah.
Show it. You got to start throwing dollars at me, okay?
All right. I know it's that kind of show, but that's all right.
I don't know if you guys can really see, but I got like
So it's gray. Looks like maybe the 2003 series.
Well, I don't know if you guys can really see. It's kind of hard to do because I'm on a laptop.
All right, looks like Donatello.
Yeah.
There's Donnie, Splinter, and then there's Raphael.
Oh, nice.
Oh, and he's in color. Okay.
Yeah. See, what I'm doing is I want to do the background all like black and gray and all that stuff, and then I want to do the turtles all in color, but they're gonna have all red.
You're in a Mirage style.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, man.
But it goes all the way up. This is what my wife too. My wife thought this was funny, but I have them all the way up. Like I have all the turtles on me right now, and I got Leo and I got Mikey up here on my thigh. Now we can't show this, okay?
Yeah, please don't.
Okay, we're not going to show this because Leonardo's sword is literally underneath my butt cheek.
Oh my god.
Okay, all right.
So my tattoo artist is, so my tattoo artist is kind of tattooed, like, you know what I'm saying? But I mean,
that's always a fun part. I've tattooed under ball sacks. I've tattooed a ball sack. I've tattooed every single inch of a human person's body. So it's always fun.
What's the most challenging?
To me, it's always the ribs. The ribs.
Okay.
Yeah. The ribs, or if it's somebody that they lost a ton of weight and their skin has way too much, like it doesn't stretch really well. It's very flabby, That's always super hard because it's like tattooing on a wet noodle.
Oh man, yeah. I've seen people with it like inside their lips and.
I
stuff
used to
like
have
that.
one here. It's gone. It's gone now. It said 315, which was our area code out here. That's like tattooing like a wet sponge. It's also a novelty. You just get it so you can kind of show people, and then it fades.
Does it go away?
Yeah, it fades right away.
I know not so much about tattoos because I've actually never gotten one. It just
a virgin.
Yep. It's just
that's
it's
all right.
never really.
I'm done getting tattooed. This shit hurts so much. I'm
Does
done.
it?
Yeah.
My kid suggested that I get because I'm a big fan of Jim Henson's A Dark Crystal, and I just haven't found the right one.
I have a Skeksis on me.
That's what I would get. I would get the Great Conjunction or something like that, but I just don't. It just hasn't happened yet. So,
what do you think of the new show that came out, The Age of Resistance?
I loved it more than anything Netflix has ever done,
and
it's so good.
So I thought it was amazing. I thought it was a perfect homage, a perfect meshing of future like CGI and then also puppetry. My only one complaint is I wish they would have put, because when you watch the old movie, and I've seen it millions of times, it had that graininess because they filmed it on film.
Yeah.
It was too HD. I wish that they would have either put some type of effect where it looked a little bit more old and had scratches or a little bit of dust on there. That's my only complaint. And then the funny thing
that's
is,
a great critique actually of just put it through a filter. They could do that now. You know, they could literally just throw that on there and be like, make it look like it's coming through sand, you know?
Yeah. And then I love the show. I thought it was amazing. And then it wins all these awards and then they cancel it.
It was the most expensive Netflix production ever made. So,
Yeah,
and I mean, look at this way.
It looks like it. It's amazing.
They canceled everything. They canceled Cowboy Bebop, and it was one of those things.
And honestly, I'm the hugest Cowboy Bebop fan, and I love that show too.
I thought it was good.
Yeah,
you know, and it's like you get to the end, and it's like, okay, that's what you're giving us for Ed. That's fine, whatever. I'll deal with it. And then it's like that's all we get.
I felt so bad for that actor because the fans, the you know, toxic fans, they gave that actor so much trouble. And I thought I can't remember if
John Cho was the Spike Spiegel.
Yeah, John killed it. I forget who played Faye, but she was great.
She was good. She was really good.
Jet Black was amazing.
Jet Black was how he should have been. It was
my only complaint is Vicious. Like he seemed really cheesy. You know, he didn't seem brutal. You know what I mean? He seemed like
I thought it was like a John Hamm lookalike kind of.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, I get that for a critique, but I'm like, this is not a bad adaptation of an anime property.
And the special effects were amazing.
Yeah,
inside the ship was amazing, and it just goes to show you, like, the whole week that it came out, it was like almost number one every day, and then. Just because of the outcry from the stupid fans, they canceled it like less than a week later. It said it wasn't renewed for a second season. I'm like,
the fans that always think they know what they want. But I mean, look at Masters of the Universe Revelations when that came out. Everyone's panning. Oh, it's gonna be a stupid Tila story. Well, did you actually watch it? Because it was amazing.
Yeah,
you know? It was really good. And I mean, Kevin Smith knew what he was doing when he did that. And
I actually like, you know, the CGI show that came out at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
The little kids one, that show's great. Have you watched that one?
Yeah, I've watched probably the first 5 episodes. And
it's great.
What shocked me was the way that they did Ram Man and Mechanic. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, this is really, and actually Cringer too. It was, it's a good show, you know?
Great show. The animation reminds me of Troll Hunter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
In throwback too, but not as the same, but you remember Reboot way back?
I love Reboot. What was it?
Those would be cool shoes, by the way. Reboot.
Oh yeah,
shoes?
dude. I did. A while ago when I tattooed, I drew. What was the kid's name that had the red hat on? Do you remember that kid's name?
Yeah. His name's escapes me right now,
but somebody requested that for a tattoo, and I drew it up for them, and they ended up being a no-show, and I was really bummed because I was like, oh my god, I really love Reboot a lot, you know.
That would have been so cool. Yeah. So I'm getting a Reboot tattoo, and
yeah,
that is fantastic. So let's see, we had talked about just kind of some of these things. We didn't get to talk about your favorite turtles and how you got into turtles, which is kind of our bread and butter.
Yeah.
What's your history with the turtles?
I mean, I'm probably like a lot of you guys, where I just remember in the 80s, I definitely wasn't exposed to the comics at all. I just remember, you know. What was it? Fred Wolf? Is that him, the guy that made the cartoons? I just remember turning that on right before Christmas, or might have been in the New Year, and seeing, you know, the what was it, 5 episodes or whatever, and being like, I don't know what this is, but this is amazing.
This is good.
Just the opening scene alone, like the opening introduction, was fucking amazing. And then I just remember like going to the toy store and seeing them on the shelf, and I'm like, for some reason it was like Donnie was my guy. Like, Donnie's my turtle. Like, I love Donnie.
It's like that sometimes. I'm that way with Leo, and he's that way with Raph.
Yeah, and a lot of times it's like personality too. Like, I'm kind of like, I always thought I was like the kind of techie but still nerdy outcast of the nerds. You know what I mean? So like, I guess that's how I relate to Donnie. You know. So yeah, I just remember going to the toy store, getting them, just looking at the packaging and just being in awe, because the packaging was just something you didn't see like that. You know what I mean? Just grabbed your attention.
Yeah, I remember cutting those little bios out of the back.
Yes.
Like all the little cards that you had.
Yep, I cut those too, for sure. And actually, like, I'd keep the card backs, and all the things would be cut, and I have those in a little pile. But I'd have all the card backs like stacked up, like what I mean?
No kidding. So you
Yeah.
keep those too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sell nowadays. Like the people are still buying those.
And then I just remember after that, at any birthday and any Christmas, I was like, just give me Ninja Turtles. You know what I mean? So I just remember getting every vehicle. I think my favorite vehicle was the helicopter with the little punching hands.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's my favorite vehicle. I remember getting that, and I love that one.
We had a guest on. I don't know if you are familiar. I'll show you the book. One of our guests did this sort of big compendium. It's called Rad Plastic.
Yeah,
right?
that book is great. I don't have one, but I've seen it in person, and it's a great book.
Yeah, it's cool because it also has like everyone that they've ever done in it. So you can go like, oh, well, what did they make in 1992? Well, here's all of them in there. Like,
yeah,
and some of the stuff that was never released.
Yeah, such a good book for sure.
Yeah. So Donatello's your guy, which is great. In the movies, he was the skateboarder, so that's pretty cool. Yeah,
and in the first movie I loved it was Corey Feldman that did the voice, so I thought that was really cool. I would say as far as bad guys, the toy wise, I was either Baxter Stockman or Scumbug. Those two are like
nice.
My favorite, and they're almost the same character. But those two are my favorite villains from the toy line back then.
Yeah, human Baxter in the comics right now is he's the mayor of New York and all that. Really? My favorite voice to do out of all of them is I love doing Baxter Stockman. He just chews scenery. It's awesome.
Yeah.
He's fun as a fly too. Like I love him in the video games, especially where he's got like this one gun that makes a hand that comes out and smacks you.
It's so good.
I can hear the music in the background in my head right now, like where they're fighting in Turtles in Time.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
That's the other thing is like just playing the NES game and the arcade game and all these other ones that were so fucking hard, especially the first one. To this day I still haven't been able to get past the dam. I
beat it.
You beat it?
He's a monster.
Oh my god! I still can never get past the dam.
I saw this great meme about. So where do you think your anxiety begins? And it shows a picture of the turtles swimming through the dam,
diffusing all the dynamite.
Oh yeah. That's cool. So yeah, you have kind of like humble origins with the turtles, where it's like you got in through the toys and the cartoons, and it just made this lifelong love.
Yeah. And then throughout the years, I've been lucky enough to have friends that have the original Mirage comics, and I've been able to look at them and read a little bit, and and I fell in love with those too. I love the look and the feel and the themes of the original ones too. I would love to have my hands on the first 4 issues would be freaking great.
Like this guy sitting right.
Oh,
here.
you have one? You have the 4
He does.
I have issue 1, 2, 3, 4. But here's the whole thing is that my issue 1's a second print. It's CGC right now. It's signed by Kevin Eastman with 4 turtle heads on it.
That's awesome.
But it's a 6.5. I got issue 2, but it's a third print. Issue 3, which is a third print as well. Issue 4, I got the second print, which obviously that's inside your coat.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Michael Dooney artwork.
Oh, absolutely love it. That's one of my favorite things. Hang on,
Yeah.
let me see if I can take you over here and I'll show you.
You got it out so everyone can see it.
You better have it out.
I'm sure he does.
Absolutely.
I mean, his whole room is like a turtle.
Yeah.
So. Yes, beautiful.
Yeah, that's awesome.
There's my Dooney.
And that's the same cover as the NES cover. So
yes. And then obviously.
Oh yeah.
There you are. So that's what printing is that?
Second
printing of number 1. Yeah.
Yes.
Beautiful.
The cool thing at that Granite State Comic-Con, I was hanging out with Steve Levine in his booth, and his wife, in their backpack, they had a graded first edition number 1 CDC graded.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wait, what? Can I see that?
You buy a house with that.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, here, check it out. And she's like, don't worry, we're watching you. And I was like, trust me, I'm not going to steal it. But they brought it in case somebody did make an offer because they have a couple of them apparently. And I'm just like, this is fucking amazing,
Yeah.
So I got to tell you, I'll tell you my story of having a first print in my hand. You know who Michelle Ivy is?
Yep, I know Michelle. Cowabunga Cup Corner.
Yep. Okay. So obviously we all know about her. She's an absolute legend in the turtle community.
Yep.
So I've met her twice. I met her at Columbus Comic Con, and I've also met her at Lexington. The first time I met her at Lexington, and we've talked online, and she has like a personal Discord that we go in there, and we talk to her. So I met up with her in Lexington, and of course, it was the first time my son meeting Eastman, and I met Eastman. This would be my second time. So I seen her, and we were talking, and she was showing me her portfolio where it has, you got, Eric Talbot, or you got Laird, or you got this
Everything.
huge book
He's
that's
a
like
tattoo
$500,000, like $500,000 worth of artwork. This is just one book that she has. She pulls out first print issue 1, slaps it right in my hand.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm like, what are you doing? I said, why don't you get this graded? Get it sealed.
Oh, it wasn't even graded?
Nope.
Oh my God.
Nope. Laid it right in my hand and put it in my hand, first print. And I asked her, you know what she told me? She told me, she was like, I can't touch it. I can't actually touch the book to know how it feels. And I was like, I can't argue with that.
That's why she's not getting it graded, because she wants to be able to feel the pages. I get that. Yeah,
That's like that old episode of The Simpsons where they're reading Radioactive Man #1.
Yeah,
and they sterilize the tweezers to turn the page.
Yep. No, I totally get that. I mean, CDG is great, but like you can't actually touch the things. You know what I mean? Do you want to
have an extra copy? I mean,
yeah.
And plus, like, to be able to open it up and see that front cover where there's nothing that says it's second print or anything else like that, that's a truly special thing to be able to do. I get it. I will say, though, that particular book could literally buy you a house.
Oh,
yes. So, it's like first
or a nice down payment on a really nice house.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Did you meet Michelle's sister? She goes out with her a lot of times. Her sister is amazingly talented too. Her sister, she showed me she works at Disney now, and she makes all of like the sculpting, all the props for Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, wonderful!
And a bunch of other stuff, and her stuff is amazing too. Yeah,
I've met I want to say I met her aunt. I think I met her aunt. Her aunt was with her. I mean, I know that Michelle, she has problems getting around sometimes, and she rides around on her scooter a lot whenever she's at Comic Cons. A rascal, yeah.
Is that a rascal?
Yeah, she is absolutely like amazing, and like she has no idea what she's done for the turtle community. I mean, she does, but she's just by far like one of the most humble people.
Yeah,
alongside with Kevin.
Her when she was on that show about the Ninja Turtle fanatics.
The Toys That Made Us.
Oh yeah.
No, not even the Toys That Made Us.
Fred Willard.
Oh,
the Fred Willard one is where I saw her first, and I was like, I don't know who this is, but this girl loves Ninja Turtles more than me. So and she was all in. So I was like, this girl's awesome. Yeah.
I've known about her. I've known about her for years. Like, I remember hearing about her whenever, I want to say I was living in Pittsburgh, and that was like in 2009.
Yeah.
Like, I've known about her for years, and I have to say, finally meeting her, like, she's a freaking legend in the turtle community. Like, if anybody can put anybody in the turtle history, between, the original Mirage and whoever played in the movies and the cartoons, like, she's up there with them.
I would put her in the same category as, like, if there's like a Hall of Fame for the OG fan, she's number one. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
She's the first one.
Absolutely.
I said that to her, and she rejected it. She said the turtles are for everyone. There can't be a number one fan. I said, okay, but if there were,
the people's poll will definitely say Michelle Ivy.
She got my vote. I mean, and Michelle, if you're listening, it's overdue. We got to get you on.
Absolutely. I need to message her.
I love listening to her talk. She's just so informative and genuine.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
She could write a book about turtle history. I'm sorry, but you know, that's the whole thing. Like, she hung out on movie sets. She hung out, you know, she really didn't hang out with Pete a whole lot, which is kind of shocking, you know, because I know that she hung out with, you know, a lot of the Mirage people and stuff. And like, I mean, she just,
It seems like a lot of people didn't hang out with Pete though a lot. He's very kind of quiet,
yeah,
to himself.
very secluded. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Kevin is outgoing, you know, I mean, they, you know, opposites attract. And I think that's what made Kevin and Pete, you know, made this whole thing. I mean, it's just,
they were the odd couple and it worked. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You guys remember
Absolutely.
when Kevin bought a tank? That's
Yes.
awesome. That is like the coolest thing. I'm like, I'd buy a freaking tank, sure. You know?
I'm a Sherman tank.
So also too, so you guys have obviously watched the Turtle Power documentary.
Oh yeah.
I know that there's another one coming out. Have you guys heard anything about the production of that and when that's coming out?
No, but you just reminded me. I should actually reach out about that because I did have a friend that I went to high school with that was actually in that. He was one of the guys that they talked to at the con. So
oh, nice.
I should reach out to the producer because the producer was actually a director of the last, not the Michael Bay, but some of the other Turtle stuff.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
So I was like, oh, cool. I should definitely talk to them.
Yeah, because Steve Levine told me that they filmed a bunch of stuff for the new Turtle Power 2 documentary, and I was like,
oh.
I want to see this because
definitely.
I guess they're going to be talking more about the 2012 and onward, you know, with some flashbacks and stuff too. But
oh, good. Yeah, you got Turtle Power right there. That was a great movie.
I loved it as soon as because it came out. I want to say it came out the same day after the Michael Bay movie came out. Or the same day.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, I told my wife, I was like, this is something that I gotta get. Like, I absolutely have to get this just because of the simple fact of, I mean, it's the history.
Yeah.
You know?
So I'm a creature of habit, and when I'm here in my studio, like working on shoes, I turn on stuff that I've seen a million times because then while I'm working on the shoes, in my head I already know what the scene is. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like, I'm always watching the Turtle Power documentary because I've seen it a million times. I'm watching the Funko documentary. Have you watched that yet?
Oh, I've not seen that.
Making fun. Look it up on YouTube. Just type in Funko documentary. It will come up. It will say it's in Spanish. It's not in Spanish. Just the subtitles are in Spanish. It's an amazing documentary. And then my go-to show that I've seen hundreds of their episodes is the Game Chasers. I don't know if you ever follow them. The Game Chasers. Yeah, it's like American Pickers, but they just go around to flea markets and people's houses and they buy, you know, video games. And then they have an offshoot one called the Toy Chasers.
Oh, okay. Is this on Amazon?
Okay. What's that?
Is that on Amazon?
It might be on Amazon now,
okay.
but it's all on YouTube. I know that.
Oh, on YouTube. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've seen that. I think one of my buddies sold them something. I don't know if they made the show.
So I watched that. I recently got into Ed's Retro Life, I think it's called, or Ed's Geek something. It's like this guy from Belgium, and he kind of does the same thing, but he's like, whenever he goes to, like, Ed does Mexico, and he goes in and he went to Mexico and he found all these really cool collectors, and you know, I like to watch people go to toy stores and the cool stuff that they find and stuff like that. That's a lot of stuff I watch here.
Go to Goodwill, you can find all kinds of stuff.
We got a lot of good toy stuff out here in Chicago, man.
I found one good thing at Goodwill, and it was a turtle clock. I don't know. Right now, like, my room's under construction because I got to do some painting because I just got some shelves done. Hang on, I'll show you.
I got my 12-inch Hellboy at Goodwill.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
Now,
what do you get there?
These shelves right here.
Oh,
Pizza slices.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah, that's really cool.
See, as you can tell, I gotta do some painting and stuff.
No, it's cool.
But like, as you can tell, this orange, purple.
That's Chef Boyardee up there.
That's so dope.
No, that's Kraft macaroni and cheese. I got all 4 boxes of the turtles. Like, I have like I know that you talked about, like, you have a lot of stuff. I have a lot of stuff too. Like, if there's 3 shelves that go all the way up there, that alone up there is probably between 200 to 300 figures just itself.
That's where you put your sneakers. in your
Oh
acrylic.
no, my sneakers. If I was to ever get a pair of sneakers, I would probably have its own little shrine, some kind of shelf that I would put them on, because I have a guy that's doing like specially made shelves. He's gonna end up doing, like, I have this wall right here where
the art wall, yeah.
That's cool.
This wall right here. You know who Mike Ruth is?
Doesn't sound familiar.
He was at Granite. He won the belt.
He won the belt.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yep.
The big beard guy, him.
Yeah.
So this is like his artwork and stuff.
Oh, wow.
And this is like the Ronin that he did.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like this whole this whole shelf this whole wall right here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get it specially. You're gonna get it like specially done, like all the way down, and it's gonna have like a little thing where I can open and close, and I can just pin up this artwork.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's really
fun, man.
So
I have something like that in my shop. So I collect animation cells from the 80s and 90s.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Like down one whole wall is like Captain Nintendo, and
Yeah, that's the ones that I bought.
yeah,
I was happy. I got a Simon Belmont.
Yeah, I got Captain N with his jacket and his gun. I got Beetlejuice. I got
you got
My
one
Pet
too.
Monster. I got Back to the Future,
Mhm.
RoboCop. I got a bunch.
You going through Animation Legends? That's where I got mine.
I've been there. I haven't bought anything from it because I get really lucky, and I go to toy shows and Comic Cons, and I'll just find people randomly selling them for dirt cheap. So,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah,
I'm a big fan of Captain N. That's one I should have mentioned for shoes. That would have been fun too.
yeah. I would say that's a deep cut if you can do Captain N, because like not a lot of people know, but I know about him or remember him. But I love that show.
That was good. It was a comic too. Valiant Comics had it in maybe 1991.
Yeah.
And it didn't last long, but
Yeah, I would say Captain N, and then my other love of toys would be either Visionaries or Sectours.
damn, Visionaries. How would you do the holograms?
I mean, I'd find somebody that does holograms and stick the hologram on there, man.
And then you got to cover it, right?
Yeah, that was my biggest complaint with the Super 7 Silverhawk toys is they made the Ultimates.
They weren't chrome.
They weren't chrome. How do you make Silverhawk with no freaking chrome?
Did you get any of them?
No, I never ordered them. That was the deciding factor. Is like you're not gonna.
They're beautiful, but the Monstars, right, are really cool. And the big guy that they had, Monstar or whatever.
Yeah, with the
he
throne.
was great.
With the throne and stuff, but he's not chrome, so it doesn't matter.
No, he wouldn't have been chrome anyway.
Yeah,
I had the Buzzsaw guy, the yellow.
Yeah,
and
I think everybody had that. He was like the throwaway villain that everybody had.
I think I got him at a Nobody Beats the Wiz.
Yeah,
man, that takes me back there.
Yeah, but that was my I love all of Brian Flynn's and Super 7 stuff, but that was the one where I was like, if it doesn't have chrome, I don't want it.
No, yeah, I'm with you. I'm a big fan of the Super 7 Ultimate Turtles that came out, and I just picked up the Leo.
Yeah, I got him.
I've seen it. I've seen a couple of them in the background.
Yeah, he's probably kicking around over here next to my Usagi.
I'm glad. I love them. They look amazing. I'm glad I don't take them out of the box because from what I hear that they're wobbly legs and they don't stand up whatsoever. So
someone said that about Leo. I don't think I've had. Yeah, I definitely did not have that issue with.
Okay, you don't got wobbly legs. That's good.
No,
you're one of the lucky ones.
Yeah, that's one of those things where it's like sometimes it's just the luck of the draw. And I wouldn't disparage anybody who got them because I've seen it. And if anybody buys the McFarlane figures, I mean, you got to glue those ankles for that thing to actually stand up.
Yeah, just coming from like the back, like knowing the back end things, like it's got to be so hard on that scale to have production quality, like be so consistent across the board. So like I give NECA and Super 7 and all those guys I give them a lot of like support because it's got to be hard. You know what I mean? Because you could have 100 figures that are perfect and that one figure that has loose legs, and that one guy's going to yell more than those other 100 people praising you.
Yeah, you hear more. That's the sad part about this business is that you'll hear more negative than positive. I mean, word of mouth is crazy.
Yeah, that's really why I love. So I'm an administrator on the Facebook group, the Party Wagon, TMNT Party Wagon, with my buddy Needles, and that's the reason we really love that Facebook group page. Not to say all the other ones are bad either, because I follow them all.
You check out Epic Shells. Yeah, that's our group.
Yeah, and but I really love, especially our Facebook group, because everybody's so positive. Like, we got really tired of being on a lot of these, like, not even just Ninja Turtles, but other Facebook groups where they're just so toxic.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like that there's a lot of this big upheaval of people trying to be more positive, whether it's your group or the the TMT Party Wagon group. Like, everybody's coming together and just being more positive. Even if someone will post like a Michael Bay toy on there, and any other group, someone would be like, screw that shit. And we're like, hey man, if you like it, that's cool. That's an awesome figure.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's the whole thing. That if that's your thing, that's your thing. Like, I was always told, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, then don't say it at all.
Don't say anything at all. The problem with the internet, especially Facebook, is they feel like they have this microphone and everybody needs to hear their fucking opinion. And we don't care about your opinion. We don't want to hear it. Just
it's
if
tough
you got
too.
nothing nice, like you just said,
Good
Eric,
vibes only. Good vibes only,
not,
man.
It's not necessarily your place to, insert your feelings about this one particular thing.
Yeah,
and
like,
I mean,
I like
we
to
go
say,
through that
like,
on a daily basis with people.
On my Instagram, if someone comes on there and they're talking shit, I'll either comment back nicely and just be like, listen, this is my platform. I'll say whatever I want. You know what I mean? And then if they're still coming back and replying with heat, then I'll just delete it and block them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if I'm coming on to their page and talking shit, then they could come back and say, hey, this is my platform. This isn't yours. Go on your platform. You know what I mean? So
that's a really mature way to look at it too.
Yeah.
That's good. And I mean, as a business owner, I mean, that's a great way to put a positive foot forward for your stuff and your art.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, with that, since we're kind of running short on time, I have a couple links up here. I've got at bull_airs or official bull_airs or bullairs.com. Those are the best places for people to reach out to you.
Yeah. I think you just nailed it right there. That's the place. And this coming Monday, November 21st, noon Eastern Standard Time, the classic toy colorway, also known as the Playmates colorway, goes live, and that will be for an entire week. So if you get paid on Friday, don't worry, you can still get them. And that will end on the 28th, Cyber Monday at 11:59. So
is it a deposit or is it the full payment up front?
It's the full payment up front, but we do have we take Afterpay. So, like, I don't know if you've ever used Afterpay, but it breaks it into 4 payments, so you don't have to do all of it at once.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That sounds incredibly reasonable, and I hope some folks go into that because those are great looking shoes.
Thank you. Yeah, and just so everybody knows, it is a pre-order and they're made to order. So, if anybody's thinking they're gonna buy it, on the 28th and it's gonna be there before Christmas, it's unfortunately not. I wish it could be. It's gonna be shipping like the middle of January is when the actual orders are gonna ship. So
you take a picture of it and you put it in a box and you say, "This is what you're getting." There you go.
Exactly. Yeah,
it'll be worth the wait.
Like, I always have to preface stuff like that because even though it says it in the caption, it's amazing how many people don't read the captions.
Yeah,
I thought this was for an action figure. No, this is a real person's shoe. Yeah,
yeah. To be honest with you, to hear that they're made to order, but as just me personally, the work that you put in, the stitching that you do to it, the details that you put into it. I'm sorry, but I mean,
it's great.
if I had to, I'd wait 6 months for it.
I appreciate that.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's something that is something that for me, it like, if you want good work, you want good, like, I wait. Yeah. If you want good artwork, you want a good tattoo artwork. I mean, you're going to have to pay a pretty penny.
Yeah, it's what is it? Was it good art isn't cheap and cheap art isn't good. You know what I mean?
Yep, exactly.
Good
Exactly. And that's why, me personally, my tattoo artist, I was in the Navy I was stationed in Bremerton, Washington.
Oh, Bremerton, that's my favorite punk band of all time is from MXPX.
I don't know him. Don't know.
Oh,
my tattoo artist might know him. My tattoo artist might know him.
They literally had, when they started in the 90s, they had a song called Move to Bremerton. It was like the theme song to that town.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I always confuse them and NoFX for some reason.
Yeah.
But, I was there. I went there and I got this one guy. He was an apprentice, Jesse Dixon. he was an apprentice, and I
think
started out.
maybe that's why I remember that, because when you said the name, I think he tattoos MXPX.
He might have, but I know he's tattooed.
It's so cool.
He tattooed this one guy in the NBA. He's not in the NBA anymore, but it was he actually played Pee Wee basketball with him.
That's awesome.
NBA. Yeah. But I ended up moving to Pittsburgh because I got out of the Navy because I moved to Singapore and so on and so forth. Long story. But I ended up flying him out to like Pittsburgh like 4 times.
Oh, wow.
And then after that, you know, this one chick, she flew him out to like South Carolina like 2 or 3 times. And then the Lake Tahoe. And then, you know, he just started traveling and stuff, you know, everything. I mean, he does amazing artwork, and everybody has, I mean, there's a lot of great artists out there, and there's also a lot of not so great artists.
Yeah.
So, you know, for me to fly, you know, he's done a full back piece on my back, which that's about like close to 40 hours.
I was going to say 40 hours probably.
And then he did my leg piece. He did a piece right here and stuff. And he did one of my stars on my hips, you know. Of course, you know.
You obviously realize that, you know, he's worth it and, you know, quality. So,
yeah, you know, and he's also did my wedding ring.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
Me and my wife's wedding ring. So,
yeah, that's awesome. So, just going back to what you said, you know, like if you want it, you're going to pay for it. You're going to wait for it, and it's going to be quality, you know?
Yeah. Well, from what I see, sorry, top notch. I mean, the just what you show right there, and it's just like, holy crap! Like, so much detail, so much Easter eggs too, as well.
Yeah,
look,
beautiful.
Look. Yeah, I see. Like that brown stitch right there in the front by the check.
Right there.
That really just stands out to me, and it's just like, but it's just wow, beautiful.
We'll have to get a picture that we can share up there on the.
They're right on my page. If you just want to grab them, there's some really. I got a photographer named Jesse Towers, and he does them all, and he kills it.
That's perfect. All right, with that, I want to thank our guests for being on, and thanks, Thom, for being here so much, for being so generous with your time and all
thanks
that.
Thanks for having me, man. I love to talk about all things nerdy, so this is perfect.
And for our YouTube listeners, thank you for listening and watching and all that. You got a real treat today to get to see everything. And for our audio listeners, I will be right back with our pizza recipe of the day.
It's pizza time.
And now, in a segment that we call Pizza Time, where we discuss any Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle or pizza-related food, I give you Pizza Time. Hi, everyone. On today's Pizza Time, I was trying to find a recipe for this amazing pizza that I saw from this place called Tony Baloney's. It is a pecan pizza pie, but I could not find the recipe, so I just want to tell you about the pie, and then I do have a recipe for buttermilk pizza crust. So this truly nutty pie features savory buttermilk pizza crust, a thick bourbon-infused tomato sauce, creamy mozzarella, fennel-dusted pepperoni-flavored pecan halves, topped with spicy balsamic pecan pie glaze. Additionally, each pecan pizza pie comes with a standard pecan pie for a drool-worthy pie. You can get this at a place called Tony Baloney's. But it's a place in Jersey, and they've been featured on the Food Network and all that. And they have the original, I guess, taco pie. So, but with that, I want to give you my contribution to this. So you can make pecan pie pizza all you want. It's buttermilk pizza dough. This dough is really good. It takes about 1 hour and 30 minutes with 6 ingredients. The ingredients: 3/4 cup buttermilk, room temperature. 1 tablespoon of olive oil, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon active dry yeast, 2 cups of bread flour. Directions: dissolve 1 package of yeast in 1/2 cup plus 2 tablespoons of lukewarm water. Step 2, place flour in a bowl of the electric mixer. Step 3, add dissolved yeast, oil, buttermilk, baking soda, and salt. Step 4, using a dough hook, mix well at about medium to low speed until all ingredients are incorporated. Next, increase the speed to high and mix the dough for 4 to 5 minutes. Step 6,
dust or oil dough ball and place it in a large bowl and cover it with plastic wrap to proof. Step 7. Let it rise in a warm, draft-free place for 1 to 3 hours. Step 8. A bread flour is higher in gluten and will give this crust a nice, crisp texture. Step 9. Bake it at 400 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes or bake at 500 degrees for 12 to 15 minutes. And that's my contribution to this recipe, the buttermilk pizza dough. Good luck, everybody, and hopefully let me know if you do try to make the pecan pie pizza. Cowabunga, dudes! Thank you for listening to the Epic Tales from the Sewers podcast. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were created by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. This podcast has no affiliation with Eastman, Laird, Mirage Studios, IDW Studios, Archie Comics, or Nickelodeon Studios. This podcast is a member of the Dorkening Podcast Network. Check out thedorkening.com for other podcasts. Epic Tales from the Sewers is recorded by Justin Cooper and Eric Will.
Greetings! We are the Retro Reductopus Cephala Podcast, a bi-weekly show that celebrates all the things that made growing up awesome.
He's right. We wax philosophic about lots of geeky crap like old video games and movies, toys, cartoons. I don't know, help me out here.
Music, pants, quoting video games that don't have dialogues, shabibans, tasty news,
Unnecessarily long Japanese onomatopoeia.
butt breathers, uncomfortable nature facts.
Or how to install a thermoflange.
And unlike all those other podcasts, we at Retro Reductopus have an exciting rotating host schedule.
Do we? We sure do.
So, if you didn't like the guy flapping his gums this week,
Like me.
worry not, gentle listener. Next week we'll have a whole new host.
Of problems.
Hey, they might still suck, but they'll suck differently.
And you know what's really cool? Retro Reductopus is part of the Dorkening and Inebriar podcast networks, with new episodes every Tentacle Tuesday.
Which is like every other Tuesday. We named it.
Anyways, you can listen to us at iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, or any podcast player cool enough to carry the only show that celebrates all things that make growing up awesome.